Welcome, Cancer and Cancer Cross Watchers, to your to your singles and new love reading. So we're going to get where you are, where you're headed, and what you need to know, and then we will get the next love interest for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, and that's all going to be time-stamped in the description box below. So, I do want to say, it's the next love interest that's interested in you. It doesn't necessarily mean that that you'll also want them. So just disclaimer. So if you guys have had a wonderful week and that your weekend is shaping up to be, fun or restful, or both, depending on what you need. So, Cancer, where you are is the Ace of Wands, and where you're headed is the Death card, which talks about, transformation. And it kind of feels like there's something that is, I almost want to say, it feels like you're having some sort of new beginning that is authentic, but I feel like there's some sort of internal change in you. It's almost like as soon as you make an offer or say something to somebody, it's almost like you seem to not immediately regret it, but this is the kind of energy that I'm feeling. It's like, when you really want to do something with someone or do something for someone, and it's like, as soon as it comes out of your mouth, you realize that, like, oh, wait a second, that's not going to work, right? And it's not a wishy-washy kind of energy. I feel like when you do it, my ears are ringing now. When you do it or when you make that offer, it is genuine. It's almost like you just didn't have all the information, I want to say. I'm just going to grab a clarifier. It's almost like you seem to get information between where you are now and where you're headed that kind of tell you almost that, like, whatever it is that you're going to do, it's almost like it's almost the energy of, like, not understanding why the person accepted your offer in the first place when they never needed it. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're offering to kind of help somebody. I don't know. It's like you're offering to help somebody move or help somebody do something, right? But it's like, but it actually turns out that they had movers and they canceled them when you said you know what I mean? So it's like, well, why would you? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I feel like you see it. It's almost like the fact that the person accepted the offer in the first place is telling you that they're going backwards instead of forwards, right? It's like whatever. It's almost like they canceled the movers. Again, it's just an analogy, right? It may not, it's obviously not going to resonate for everybody. So I feel like it's just because I mispronounced it there. Just sounded kind of snotty the way I said it. Anyway, I feel like there's something here where it's like you kind of thought this person was a bit of a boss energy, or at least that they had graduated into that. And I feel like you see yourself as kind of graduating into the next level of your evolution, but I kind of feel like you see that this person, it's almost like they're a car that can't get out of first gear and they're on a hill and they just keep going, like, back and forth and back and forth. And from what I'm seeing, of course, we'll get into what you need to know as well, but I actually feel that you may kind of leave, I feel like you may end up wanting to kind of leave this whole situation behind. It does feel like there's something that's holding you there. It almost feels like it's out of duty or responsibility. I feel like you do try to help this person. It's like you do try to help them see something here. It just feels like it's almost like even before you have that conversation or before you try to show them something, that it's a losing battle. It's kind of how it feels. So what you need to know, we got a bunch. So we got the Magician, the Two of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune with the Five of Pentacles. Cancer. all of a sudden I'm kind of feeling like I'm gonna be honest, okay? I feel like there's some strong third party vibes. However, it actually feels like there is some sort of um, it's almost like the three of you used to be thick as thieves. And I feel like you may kind of almost like approach the situation or these people from this place of like, oh my gosh, it's so great to see you. But I feel like then you get there and it's almost like um, you're in a glass cage and no one can see or hear you. And they're just kind of doing their own thing. And it's almost like they've moved on without you. If ever you've seen that movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze, and it's almost like, I think I'm remembering the right movie, where when people don't know that they're ghosts and they can't understand why people can't hear them, it's almost that kind of an energy here. And I feel like you kind of end up realizing that it's almost like that this was a temporary situation, that these people, it's almost like you may have felt that it was the three of you, but I feel like you're seeing now that, not that you've been edged out, but it's almost like you just kind of don't belong there anymore. It's almost the energy of like there's two people here that want to stay kind of in the life phase that they're in, but because you want to keep moving forward, like these cards we're talking about here, I feel like you kind of end up seeing that there's some people that, for lack of a better word, it's almost like you have to leave them behind. But it's not, it's almost kind of like, um, you know, the Truman Show, and he's like, what does he say? Um, Good morning, good evening, and good night. That last time before he kind of spoiler. That last time before he kind of walks out, I feel like that's it here, right? It's almost like not quite a good riddance vibe, but it's like you're saying goodbye to um, a certain phase of life because you're moving on to the next one and you're leaving these people behind. Not because you think you're better than them, but it's just like, it's just necessary at this point. And I feel like there's something that the two of them do that show you that um, it wouldn't be the same anymore. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't feel like, how do I say this? It's almost like you feel like you don't even know them anymore when you used to feel very connected to them. We're just going to get a clarifier on this Magician card for you. Cancer manifesting. So we have the Seven of Cups with the Five of Wands. With the Father, that would be the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So, I mean, I feel like you had a lot of different avenues or a lot of different options that you could have taken. And I feel like there was one that it may have seemed like more of a fight in the beginning. You know what I mean? It's like if you're sitting here and you have 5 different paths you can take. You were looking at them all and you're like, you know what? It's almost like it was an automatic knee-jerk reaction that you would choose this option over here. And I feel like, but then you went to look to that option and it's almost like you realized that it just wasn't, it didn't resonate anymore. It wasn't what you wanted. It didn't have, it's not even that it didn't have the same appeal. It just, I mean, it could be that, but it's like there's something about it that it's almost like it doesn't make sense for your life anymore. So, just going to write down the time because we're going to do the next love interest. So, I'm just trying to decide which deck we're going to do. This one, okay. So, for those of you with your sun in Cancer, we have the Four of Swords here. So, you know what's really interesting? And I know we're going through a Mercury retrograde and so on and so forth. So it does feel like there's something, this person is going to be, I'm sorry, okay? If it was, not everybody wants to hear this, most people probably don't. But I feel like this person's going to be a repeat of somebody that acted like a victim and kind of stole part of your soul for a certain time in terms of like your energy. It's almost like they took your life force right out of you. And I feel like this same, it doesn't feel, it could be the same person. It could be the same type of person in a different form. You know what I mean? But whatever it is, it's almost like it's just more confirmation when it happens, when you don't feel, it doesn't hit the same, right? It doesn't pull on your heartstrings the same. And I feel like you realize that's part of this whole thing where it's like what used to resonate with you, what used to make you feel needed and wanted and loved, it is not the same. And it's almost like Cancer, I'm not saying that you were the kind of person that felt like you needed to fix people all the time, okay? I'm just going to get that out there. It's just kind of to describe the energetics of it. It's like if when you were with somebody, you would see them suffering and it's like, and because you're so empathetic, you're so intuitive, it's like you'd want to step into that with them, right? And help them through it. And I feel like there's something about, and it's not that you're not going to do that anymore. It just feels like there's something about this person that tells you they're not ready to come out of it, right? So it's like you're happy and you're happy with who you are and you're strong enough in who you are that like if somebody needs help walking out of something like that, great. But I feel like you're able to see really quickly, it's like almost instantaneously that this person isn't ready to come out of that suffering. And it's almost like you seem to kind of make yourself available in that if they need some sort of support, right? It's like you let them know that you can be that for them. But I feel like there seems to be, it's almost like you seem to find yourself sharing less with them. I almost want to say it's this energy of like, how do I say this? Like you share less of your own journey, right? It's like if you're able to relate to this person really, really well in terms of certain things that they've had to suffer through, and normally you would be like really open and sharing and that sort of thing. It's not that you're not open and sharing anymore. It's just like, it's not, I almost want to say like, it's not going to do anything. It's almost like this person isn't ready to receive hope right now, right? That their situation can get better. They're still kind of too far in it. And it's almost like this energy of like, okay, well, I'm really sorry you're going through that. But, you're just not going to be kind of sacrificing yourself for someone that isn't ready to change, that isn't ready to let go. So I'm just going to write down the time here. For those of you with your moon in Cancer. Moon in Cancer. Amen. I'm definitely getting a trickster energy here. 100%. I'm getting this energy of somebody that actually seems like they would be a lot of fun. They seem to be very intriguing to you. But it's almost like they seem to be almost on mute or mute to you. There's something here that it's like they have the look in their eye of somebody that's friendly, but their actions don't match that. It's almost like you may be, for example, just to describe the energy, you may be there trying to like make a connection and be friendly and be this and be that, but this person, it's like they just sit there and stare at you the whole time. And I feel like it's almost an energy that I feel like for a second it might make you uncomfortable, but it doesn't feel like that's for very long. I feel like it's almost like it might feel a little bit hurtful at first, if that makes sense. And I feel like I'm hearing you feel that maybe you just didn't kind of get to this person quickly enough. If that makes sense. it seems to feel that it's almost like if this person met you 6 months ago or a year ago, I feel like you seem to feel that there would have been a connection, that you would have been able to reach them, but they seem really unreachable. It's almost like you may be kind of like cracking jokes or stuff to kind of make this person comfortable or identify with them, and I feel like they just don't respond. And it feels like the type of situation where it's like as you're walking away, you're kind of looking at it like something doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It's almost like this person feels like there's some sort of like otherworldly presence, and it's like you can't quite figure out if they're here to do good or if they're here to almost like um, Loki, just to kind of cause a little bit of upset, right? It's not someone that's good, it's not someone that's bad, it's just they're neutral. It does feel like this, they seem to have a skewed sense of morality, of reality. I feel like this is somebody that it's almost like even they wake up in the morning and they haven't decided who they're going to be. You know what I mean? And I feel like that may be, especially for an intuitive sign like you guys, that may be why you kind of have a hard time getting a read on this person, because it's like until the moment comes, they haven't decided who they're going to be either. I'm I feel like you are exactly what this person has been manifesting, but it almost feels like they wanted to spend more time manifesting it. It's almost like they were manifesting it, but they hadn't prepared their life for you yet. So it's like they're still almost like it's almost like they seem to find some sort of BS reason to not. Hold on for a second. I feel like they kind of formulate some sort of BS reason in their mind so that they don't have to do anything right now. So they don't have to kind of like make a move or open up or anything. I hope that made sense. So for those of you with a Cancer rising, we have the Two of Pentacles here with the Nine of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Oh, you guys don't seem to be having great luck this month. I feel like this is somebody that is incredibly self-centered. They feel very, it's almost like this person that thinks really highly of themselves. You know what I mean? It's like they seem to think that they are just the best thing since baked bread. And it's like, and they're trying to, you know what it feels like? It feels like somebody that may have come from nothing, and the things that they have built up, it's almost like they're really proud of them. They're really kind of putting them on display. And I feel like you may have been excited to meet this person, but it's almost like when you get to know them, they seem to be a little bit one-dimensional. You know what I mean? It's that kind of person that talks about, all they want to talk about is how to make money, or all they want to talk about is one specific sport, or all they want to talk about is themselves, right? Just seem to have a very narrow interest, and it's almost like they seem to feel that whatever that thing is, it's the only thing that's interesting about them, and it's like they seem to have, it's like they got good response from focusing on that before, and I feel like they've kind of, zeroed in on whatever that is, and I feel like it's the type of energy of somebody that continues to not get the type of person that they want, but keeps doing what they're doing anyway because they think that they've changed. Hold on, because they feel like the world should just change around them rather than them changing. It's that energy of like they're feeling like, well, I'm just going to stay in this energy and the whole world is going to revolve around me and it's all just going to change for me. And I feel like, to a certain extent, we're supposed to manifest things and believe that those can happen and that sort of thing. But it just feels like there's something this person seems to be stopping short. It's almost like, how in order for new things to enter our life, sometimes other things have to exit. It's like they want to hold on to everything that they have, but also want more, not realizing that they're stopping the flow. And I feel like, I'm going to be honest, I feel like whatever it is that they're stopping the flow of, or if that's just the general kind of energy coming off of them, I actually feel like you see that pretty clearly, pretty quickly. And again, it feels like it is something that you could help with. But it kind of feels like even if you did help this person, it's almost like they seem to be, it feels like the kind of energy of somebody that would make like snide remarks and just kind of be generally unpleasant or unkind. It's almost like you would kind of have to take a bit of a kicking or something like that, or a bit of a, almost like verbal put downs until this person realized where you're at. And I feel like it's just not really worth it. If this person maybe could take their head out of their butt, then like, I feel like you would be happy to help them, but I feel like they kind of show them part of themselves to you that you just don't really want to help because you understand what the cost would be. So for those of you with your Venus in Cancer, Seven of Cups reversed. Interesting that we have the Seven of Cups upright up here. Oh, then we have the Six of Cups. Okay. Oh. Sorry, one moment, please. Sorry about that. So we have this Seven of Cups here. And what I'm kind of feeling with this one is, I'm going to be honest, I feel like you see this person and you're like, I want you. Like, there seems to be something that I feel like you really zero in on this person. And it actually feels like, not that like, oh, they don't know you're alive, but I feel like they definitely don't seem to feel whatever is coming off of you. I feel like there's something about this person. It's almost like it kind of makes you feel alive. But hold on. It's almost like this person seems to make you feel alive. I feel like you're extremely attracted to this person. And it's almost this energy of like this narrative that you're having, that like, if you're this attracted to this person, then I feel like part of you is kind of like, oh, well then what if they're kind of, bad news? Almost like okay, this may not resonate for everybody, but if you've been attracted to kind of like, not so good people in the past, and I feel like, and here's this person that you're actually really attracted to, I feel like part of you is, how when you first meet somebody and you're like, oh my gosh, this person's so awesome. I love being around them. And there are certain things about them that you kind of miss in that first stage, right? Because it's almost like you haven't assigned a something to those behaviors, right? We all do it, right? And I feel like it seems to be the reverse for you here. You seem to be very attracted to this person, but it's almost like it's because even their flaws seem to be a cut above what other people's best parts are. You know what I'm saying? It's like the worst thing this person does is like apologize too much, or it's like, or they spend too much time talking to people when those people are going through something, right? It's like there may be things where this person kind of shoots themselves in the foot helping other people, and then they set themselves back too far. And of course, that's not a good, you don't want to have either of those things, right? Where it's like you don't care about people, or you give too much. But it's almost like there seems to be something so unique about this person in that light. I am hearing, okay, some of you might not want to hear this, or you may not agree with it, and that's okay. It's almost like, a new project. And it's not so much that you even have any emotional attachment or you feel like you have to run in and save this person or anything. It's just so friggin' refreshing that it's different. You know what I mean? It's somebody that maybe, it's almost like instead of needing to be reminded to not think about themselves all the time, It's like the worst thing this person needs is to be reminded to think about themselves and to put themselves first and to not feel guilty for doing so. And I actually feel like you have a lot of compassion for this person. I feel like you're really protective of them. And I feel like you kind of see them as getting a bit of a bad rap from people around them. And I feel like you really do identify with them. And it's almost like there is something there that you want with them. I just kind of feel like you end up not, at the end of the day, it feels like you kind of end up not wanting to pursue it right now. It's almost like a bit of a wait and see sort of thing. That's the deck I was looking for. Can we get some advice for those with their Venus in Cancer? 8 of Pentacles with the 2 of Wands, the bottom of the deck. So, I feel like the situation with this person actually seems to give you some sort of opportunity to work on something for yourself more. I feel like you might see yourself, you might see yourself in this person quite a bit, and it actually seems to help you let go of and almost kind of like make certain improvements in yourself. I feel for some of them, it's almost like they were things that you really wanted to change. For others, it's almost like there were things that you didn't know. It's almost like if you were trying to do something and every time you did it, something seemed to get in the way. I feel like in being around this person and kind of observing them, it's almost like you're able to see how certain behaviors that you were doing, you may have had a certain intention behind them, but they weren't getting the intended result. And it's almost like you seem to see how, well, your intention may have been to have A happen, what you were doing was actually leading to B, right? So it's almost like even if nothing happens with this person, which again, that's between the two of you, right? That's not something that, at the end of the day, that's between the two of you, right? It's not something that I can predict for sure, right? I feel like you end up being really grateful that you met this person because you learned so much about yourself and how to improve yourself by just being compassionate enough to listen to this one. So I think I'll leave it there, Cancer. If this reading resonated, of course, I hope it was helpful and brought you some clarity. For those of you that are looking for a private reading, there is a few weeks out right now, and I'm still working on contacting everybody from when they were closed. So please, I appreciate your patience. And so, of course, I will have the mini weekly love reads coming out on Sunday, and then next week will be the May 2023 love readings. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.